I know this is gonna piss off a lot of people, but I need to say it, okay? Girls do like nice guys. Actual nice guys. Not low key douchebags who do nice things sometimes and expect something in return. Because guess what? Part of being nice and being a nice guy is doing things with the expectance that you will get nothing in return. But these people will like pay for dinner once and then be like, oh my god, she didn't fuck me after. What the fuck? Nice guys finish last. Like, no, like good job for paying for dinner, but you are not entitled to anything. That is part of being nice, is not being entitled to anything afterwards. I find that the dudes who are actual nice guys will never sit there and be like, oh my god, I'm such a nice guy and I don't get anything. Because nice guys don't even really realize that they're nice guys. It's always the dudes who are low-key douchebags that are like, oh my god, I do such nice things and I don't get anything. Like, congratulations, you didn't cheat on someone. Congratulations, you held the door for a girl. Like, you did the bare minimum. Congratulations, but doesn't make you a nice guy.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, gentlemen, we're going to be talking about why you should never stay in a poor relationship, okay? And this was a question that was sent over to me by a supporter over on Patreon, so thank you very much for that, man. And we're going to be breaking down some of the reasons why you should never do this. A lot of the older dudes, maybe the dudes who have been around the block a couple of times, they're already hearing me say this and they go, yeah, I know. Right? You should never stay in a poor relationship, and we're going to be cracking into some of the reasons why. Now, guys, as we jump in, as always, excuse me, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments. There's obviously many more reasons than these, so if you guys have your own that you'd like to share, feel free to do so. That is what the comments box is for, and let's just jump right into the first reason. So the first reason, guys, that you should never stay in a poor relationship is that it sets the tone, right? It sets the pace, and the behavior is only going to continue to get worse. This is why I always feel sick to my stomach, man, when I see like a dude or a girl who's been cheated on and they go back to the relationship thinking that things can be fixed, right? How many times on this channel, guys, have we seen stories, okay, where dudes have been in marriages, they get cheated on, and then the dude's sitting there and he says, oh, I just want to make it work, or can we get past this? The answer is no. You can't, because the thing is, even if you get past it, right, even if you go back into the relationship, you renew that trust, right? You've gone to the what are they called, the divorce, the counselor people for marriage counselor, that's it, right? Even if you go to a marriage counselor and you do all this kind of crap, guys, and you take the individual back who has cheated on you or done something awful, it says to the person who has done that behavior that it is okay to treat you that way, right? And this is why a lot of abusive relationships, shall we say, they get worse and worse over time, because the longer the individual stays in the relationship, the more time the other person, the abuser, right, has to sit there and go, oh, they're going to put up with my behavior. They're going to put up with my disrespect. Okay, and if you translate this into like regular relationships and crap like that, guys, that's why a lot of girls in particular, their demands will just get stupider and stupider, and they'll start asking for more and more ridiculous things, or things that don't make sense, and you can never make them happy, because the demands are just going to get bigger and bigger, because they know that they can just mess with you. And I'm going to talk about this as well before we continue into the next point, is like, they feel entitled to your time. Like, they feel entitled to whatever it is that they've screwed you over for. Okay, I was having a look the other day over YouTube, and I like to check out different content creators and see what they say. And I haven't watched his content for quite some time, but I came across Coach Greg Adams, right? And he was talking about something. This was literally like a little bit before I started recording this video. And he was talking about, different lies that people tell. And one of the ones that he brought up was when a girl says that she'll only be 5 minutes. Right. And what I thought to myself is like, yeah, we've probably all heard that, you got a girl and she's getting ready and she's like, oh, I'll be 5 minutes. And before you know it, it's 25 minutes and, you're late for your reservation and all that kind of crap. Okay. But what you'll notice is that if that is said to you and you go, oh, okay, sure. Like, in all likelihood, over time, next time it's going to be 25 minutes, 30 minutes. The girl's going to start flaking on whatever it is, even if you're with her. Like, it's just like a gateway to more terrible behavior. Okay, and that's the first reason why you should never stay in a poor relationship, guys, is because the behavior that's going on in the relationship, if you accept it, it's just going to continue to keep going. And that's not to say like you should sit down and you should scream at them or yell at them or get in like a big heated argument or anything like that, guys. Like, there is nothing really that you have as a man that's more valuable than withdrawing your attention. Because a lot of people will sit there and they'll feel as though they won the argument or they're better than you because you yelled at them or you got angry or you got frustrated or whatever the case may be. Like, it's literally like a toddler, right? Like, a lot of people will go around and they're just looking for an emotional reaction, and even if they're completely in the wrong, they'll treat themselves as though they're right and they were justified in whatever they were doing. It's actually pretty sickening. But let's continue on to the next point that I have here, guys, which, speaking of time, you are going to be wasting a lot of your time. Okay, and the older guys, again, the dudes who are like 30 plus and stuff like that, a lot of them, when they look back on their 20s, one of their biggest regrets is typically like, I wasted a lot of my time, or I didn't do the things that I could have done, or I was in this relationship and I really should have been out of it. It wasn't healthy and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people will have regrets because they've just wasted so much damn time. Guys, I know a dude who, I think it was in a relationship for something like 16 years or something, and he gets out of the relationship and he finds out that his girl's been cheating on him with multiple other dudes and stuff like this, and he's looking at it and he's like, man, what a waste of 16 years. Like, he always knew her behavior was terrible here and there, right? But he always chalked it up to, oh yeah, we'll make it through thick and thin, because that's what everyone's been, particularly the men, that's what we've been taught, guys, is, thick and thin. Right, but when it comes to thick and thin, it always seems like that people use this as a rationalization for putting up with really, really crappy behavior. Like, the guys, it's always the guys who are incredibly loyal, incredibly caring, incredibly empathetic. They're the ones that get so incredibly screwed over because they're just completely blind to all of this stuff. Right, they'll go through all of their terrible behavior and they'll go, oh, well, I should put up with it, right? Because she's my wife, long-term girlfriend, or whatever, and they've been kind of conditioned into it, which is really damn awful, guys. But the main point that I want to make there is just wasting a hell of a lot of time, right? And this might not even necessarily be specifically time itself. Maybe you spent a lot of money, right, that you spent time acquiring, or just the huge opportunity cost. Maybe you missed opportunities, or you just wasted a hell of a lot of time going through relationships that are absolutely awful for you when you could have been doing something else that's a lot better. I'll see a lot of men and they'll go through relationships and they'll chat with girls and they'll have flings and all this kind of stuff. And there's just such a huge time investment that goes into all of that crap. Because it's not just like a day that you spend here or a few weeks here and stuff like that, guys. It really starts to bleed into longer and longer periods of time where eventually you'll look back on it and go, oh, I wasted here, I wasted this. And again, this is one of the biggest regrets of the older dudes I've noticed, is they'll come around and say, I wish I did more in my 20s, right? Or I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. And they'll have spent, I don't know, like 10, 15 years with the girl, 5, whatever the case may be, and they can't really get that time back. So guys, let's continue into the last point here. And this is going to be a bit of a tough love one right here, which is that if you are staying, if you are staying in a poor relationship, one where you're being mistreated, it actually says some pretty bad things about yourself. Right, and what I mean by that is it says that you lack self-respect, you lack boundaries, and you're willing to put yourself as an underfoot figure for other people to the extent to which it harms yourself, right? So these are not a good set of qualities. Guys, one of my favorite quotes, which I can't even remember, man, it's like, there's something I heard a while ago that's really kind of stuck with me, and it's one of my favorite quotes that I've ever heard. It's something along the lines of, virtues, when taken too far, become vices. Okay, so like dudes who are incredibly empathetic, incredibly caring, what a lot of these guys will do is they'll go out here and they'll put themselves like rank number 50 on the list of things to care about. Like, they'll care about their dog, they'll care about their family, they'll care about their girlfriend or wife, okay, but they'll never actually go through the process of giving a crap about themselves, or maybe they won't have a lot of ambition and stuff like this until they're like 30, 35, and then they start to realize like, oh, I should have been putting that effort into myself here and there, or putting myself more to the top. Because the thing is, you can't help other people without helping yourself first anyway. You know, like it's literally like I'm pretty sure lifeguards, I believe it is, are trained not to actually help you if you're going to pull them down, because it just makes the situation 20 times worse. And I think a lot of dudes don't have this attitude where it's like they're perfectly okay just putting themselves rank number 50 and thinking that that's okay and that's a good thing. Like, and I've got a lot to say about like the conditioning that goes into this. Obviously, people are taught this from a very young age and crap like that. And this is why, again, I make this point so often, that it's important to have a father around, because fathers are typically the ones that are going to teach you this. Fathers are typically the ones that are going to teach you the boundaries, you know, what to accept, what not to accept, your physical limitations, all of that kind of crap. Like, there's studies that have come out, guys, where it's like, you know, the men are responsible for the for like the rough and tumble play. I know Jordan Peterson spoke about this quite a lot, guys, where the dynamics of each parent was kind of different. You know, the dudes would go out here and they would help the child to develop in like a physical sense and a boundary sense and stuff like that. But the problem is, if you're living in a society where dudes are taken out of the family unit, you're going through life with such a huge amount of men, you're going through, you know, time, excuse me, with such a huge amount of men who are walking around thinking that it's appropriate just to get treated like crap because you're supposed to always put other people first. Right, guys, I've been playing a video game recently called Dead by Daylight. And one of the things that I've noticed, man, is like the community is just so soft. You know, like everybody's so incredibly soft. Like they complain, like, get this, gentlemen, and I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up in a second, okay? But somebody will lose a game in this game, and then they will complain about how the other person played, as if their happiness in the game is contingent on other people taking it easy on them. Does that make sense? Right? You're playing a video game and you sit there and you cry when people employ quote unquote unfair tactics, as if your happiness is someone else's responsibility. And this is the kind of crap that happens when it's like when dudes get removed from the family unit, because you have people grow up and they think that, one, their emotions are the responsibility of other people, and two, that they should always put the emotions of other people or the well-being of other people before their own, even if they're getting treated like absolute garbage. So guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Covered a few points here, but guys, of course, if you have anything to add, you know, why you should never stay in a bad relationship, feel free to do so. Guys, as always, like with these lists that I've been doing lately over the last few videos, there are plenty of things that you can add. So like if you've gone through an experience, or you'd like to share something, or you'd like to disagree on a point, feel free to do so, guys. That is what the comments box is for. And as always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's video. Before you head out, there's just a few announcements that I'd like to make. The first is that my editor, who goes through all of the blood, sweat, and tears of putting together content for us to endure, has started his own YouTube channel. The link will be in the video description, so make sure that you go and show him some support by going and giving him a sub. Also, we are currently looking to expand Fiendish content creation behind the scenes, so if you are interested in becoming a content creator alongside me, be sure to check out the application form at the very bottom of the video description. This is for those of you who are interested in becoming a part of the content that you see here on YouTube. So if you're interested in applying, make sure to get in quick. People who apply first will have priority for consideration. Again, the link is at the very bottom of the video description. Lastly, if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, there are links to both Patreon and locals below the video, guys. I'd like to extend a huge thank you to the supporters on those two platforms. You guys allow me to make these episodes, and your support is greatly appreciated. As always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will catch you later for real this time, guys. Peace.